sparring club is coming. November 14th, London. Mark your diary. See you there, you f***ing tart.
You know, dreams do come true. Reality sets in. You know, we're here.
Boxing King Media. We're out here in Dubai. Delighted to be joined by John EADE from the Ricky Hatton Foundation, the chap that's kind of leading all the plans that are coming ahead with it. So first of all, nice to meet you, John. Obviously we've been at the press conference today for KELL, BROOK and Issa Alder, and a close friend of Ricky Hatton, a long time associate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what an amazing event, and you know, it's incredible for us with the Ricky Hatton Foundation to be involved in it. You know, there's something that this Ricky was passionate about. This trying to build boxing over here in the UAE. So, you know, to continue to be part of this event and show with Martin and the team, you know, it's a real honour, and it was good fun as well. Being there, listening to Issa in KELL.
Did get a bit spicy in there, but you know, before we talk about the fight, obviously saddened by the news of Ricky Hatton. It's clear to see how much he was loved by people. With just looking at his funeral, the people that turned up for that, and it was like a royal funeral. Do you know what I mean? And just want to ask you about the foundation and its plans. And you know, we've seen the taglines that, you know, it's there to support people with mental health, but people will want to know, what is the actual plans? What will you actually do, and how will you support people?
Yeah, do you know, it's a really good question. The foundation's been so early on in its inception. This is something that I spoke to Ricky about 12-18 months before he passed away. And just to touch on what you said there, you know, this guy genuinely was the people's champion, the man of people. So it resonates with every ordinary people that are going through struggles. So as soon as he passed away, now was the time that we had to act as fast as possible for something that is very, very serious. So early on, it's all about building awareness, looking at how we can raise some funds to build a pot to help with some initiatives. But we want to really dig deep into mental health challenges and mental well-being. We want to be able to provide support before the crisis stage. We want to make sure that we can get to, whether it's people within sport, whether it's in boxing, whether it's football or cricket or rugby, before it gets to a point where it becomes a real issue. I'm talking about sport, using sport as a vehicle to educate people. I'm a big believer in, you know, there's two sides of it. We've got someone that's struggling, understanding that they can reach out, but it's also important that the person they reach out to understands what it is that the struggles, not just oh, you'll be all right, mate, grab another beer and we'll be okay. Actually truly understand how they can help and support people. So, you know, we're going to be looking at things like mental health first aid, free access to everybody, so full online training education for that, to prevent, you know, to put it out into companies, into schools, into communities. We want to give something back to boxing, and we want to offer some support to existing ex-fighters, whether that's directly through the foundation or whether it's working with existing organisations that are trying to do the same thing. But we've got an opportunity here, because of who Ricky was, to really drive awareness to people that maybe have been hard to reach in the past. You know, Ricky was that man, everyday person that people look at and go, do you know what? If he can have these struggles, all right, talk openly about it, but pay the ultimate price, then anybody can. And you know, we want to do as much as possible to help that. So, like I said, it's very early on. You know, we've got a sort of 2-5-year strategy at the moment. Some of it we may never get round to completing, but the first part is we need to build as much awareness as possible and trying to action as many things as possible in the early days to provide immediate support for people that need it.
That is, like you said, I think you kind of summed it up perfectly as to what the vision is for the foundation, and obviously the fact that it's basically part of this event here in Dubai, which obviously is crazy how things have worked out. You know, KELL Brooks stepped in, a guy that suffered himself with, you know, addiction, which he's talked to me about today, and you know, he's felt the impact of life after boxing and feeling empty, as he describes it. So I think he's picked the perfect opponent, Issa. Most people will think he's crazy for doing that, and I've seen a lot of the comments that people are saying, is this guy mad? But I will respect him because he wants to challenge himself, and he, like Dominic Ingle said to me today, if you're going to lose to someone, lose against a great fighter rather than somebody who's, you know, Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know? And chatting to KELL and to Don before, this is not something that they can overlook either. This is Issa is very, very motivated by the things that went on with Ricky. He's very passionate about what Ricky did for him in terms of getting this event in the first place. So, he's driven by that, and KELL's got an amazing legacy that, he doesn't want to take a foot off the gas or take him too lightly. He needs to take the challenge seriously. But yeah, I mean, you were talking there about KELL's struggles. It's so common across sport. People coming out of sport having that void of their identity of who they were being taken away or feeling lost. And that's something that also with the foundation we want to try and look at success stories. Who's done it well? Who's transitioned well after retirement, not just necessarily by financially or having opportunity, more about filling the gap. When they wake up in the morning and they don't have what they've loved and what everyone loves them for anymore, how can they fill that? And I think early education with people in sport to get them to understand that at some time in their life that is going to happen, and preparing them for it. Boxing is something you need to have the ultimate confidence to know that you're going to be the best and you're never going to be beaten at any time. But unfortunately, that's not the real world. That's not how it's going to be. So we're not trying to take that inner belief away. It's just asking those difficult questions. Is what is life like after sport or after boxing? Have we thought about that? Have people got options? And still hopes and dreams and aspirations that one day the boxing career may stop. That's not the end of it, and they can carry on and build. And we want to be able to make sure that we can provide some support on that and some education around it.
Like you said there, I think it all sounds great, and I think fans will probably be intrigued to know, will Campbell, Ricky's son, and his brother Matthew, will they form any part of the foundation? Yeah,
absolutely. So Matthew and the family are super close to that. This is all being created by conversations also with them. Campbell is going to be the honorary president of the foundation, because there's no one better to tell the story than Campbell. It's like a mirror image of his dad when you talk to him. And he's shared the pain. He's gone through his own troubles since in boxing and retiring from boxing. The pressure that's been on him from social media on the biggest stage when you've got a dad like that. He probably wasn't 100% prepared for that either. So, great lessons and learnings from his career and how he's gone since then. But yeah, I mean, massive part of it. Look, this is, like I said, it's a non-for-profit organisation. This is not about making money for anybody. This is about the family having the chance to carry on to build his legacy. And Campbell's really, really passionate about making sure that his dad is now, even more well respected, if that's possible, since his fighting days.
Indeed, and obviously in a nutshell, if people do support the charity, the pages on Instagram, obviously there's a website out there as well, very easy to find, and obviously support. And like I said, like John just said here, all the donations are going towards basically helping people. So if you want to help people suffering from mental health, that this is the place to do it in honour of Ricky Hatton's name. And then just lastly, I want to ask you, we're obviously here, Issa Alder, obviously he gave quite a passionate speech about Ricky Hatton, and what I'm going to ask you, I want to put you on the spot, John. What's going to happen on this fight when it happens on Feb 13th? Who wins and how?
Well, you have to say Kell Brook wins fairly comfortably, based on the records and what they've both achieved in the sport. But like Issa said, he's not had an opportunity that Kell's had. All right, Kell's earned that opportunity to put himself in that position. So you'd have to say that it's going to be a tough night's work for Issa. However, 3 years out the ring, it's a long time, and I don't think they will, but I hope they just don't overlook the challenge that it's going to be. Issa's very motivated. He's in his home country, the first UAE boxer. He will want to put on a show, and he'll have that inner strength to go deeper than he's ever gone before. But I can't say more past a 3-4 round Kell Brook win.
Okay, well, thank you for being honest there. I'm sure I'm sure Issa's going to look to prove you wrong, and so yeah, appreciate your time. Any last words before I let you go?
No, thank you very much for your support. And like you said, anyone wants to visit rickyhattonfoundation.com. We have a Just Giving page on there. We're raising funds, and more initiatives that we're working on will be released through our social media channels as well. But thank you, mate.
I'll have the link pinned to the comments of this video, so if you want to support the foundation, you can do that way. So John, appreciate your time, mate, and hopefully we look forward to it in about 3 months time. KELL BROOK versus Isa Alder at the agenda in Dubai.